servant that has provided some form of nutrition and self-food over the last 40 years.
So Dr. Sebi was 82 years old when he died. He was born in Honduras, and he was a herbalist. Never went to school, never got a degree or a license to practice medicine, but he was a healer. And he proved that in many different ways. He healed many different people. He worked with Michael Jackson, Steven Seagal, Lisa Lopez. There's others, you can look it up. These people didn't just look to him for, thinking that he may be able to help them. They knew. They knew that this guy could cure them or help them, heal them in whichever way they needed.
The lump in Myrtle Rick's left breast is gone.
I haven't had any symptoms or problems, anything.
Sabrina Peterson's son no longer disabled by sickle cell anemia.
He has a lot of energy. I have to make him rest.
Disease is cured by this man. His name is Dr. Sebi, but you won't find a medical degree hanging from his wall. Instead, a certificate of healing.
We have complex things with science, but if we go back to God and use the herbs as God said, then you can see how simple it is. Then
Dr. Sebi believes what ails you can be cured with natural alkaloid herbs and a vegetarian diet solely made up of what he calls electric foods, mushrooms, greens, and rye breads without starch.
Hippocrates established the principle of medical science by using herbs to cure diseases, then why the physician using the chemical?
Something as simple as this makes sense. People survived for who knows how long before modern medicine came to be. How did they do it? Well, they weren't mixing chemicals together like we do now, I assume. They definitely didn't have the technology we had, and they survived for all those years. So I think there's definitely something to this entire thing. I truly believe Dr. Sebi to be a credible person. I believe him to tell the truth. I can feel it in my heart. I've done enough research. I think that there's more to this than we may know. I think even though it seems so simple, it could just be that. You don't have to be religious to understand that natural remedies are generally better for you, and they generally do better sometimes. So whether you believe in God or not, or whatever religion you may believe, there's something to this whole thing. There's something to this.
Regarding in 1979, I think it was, you were charged in New York City with practicing medicine without a license. You were ultimately charged, indicted, and taken before the New York Supreme Court. And I would advise my viewers who might be questioning your authenticity that you won that case. Now, so the charge was practicing medicine without a license and claiming that you had a remedy to cure AIDS, cancer, and diabetes. So the question is, how did you win that case against what some people say are the toughest prosecutors in the land?
Well, it was 1987.
87, not 79, 87.
The 10th of February.
Okay.
My mother knew they were coming. When I told my mama that I had cured my 13 AIDS patient, she said, "They're gonna get you. They're gonna get you."
So let me stop you there. You said I cured my 13 AIDS patients.
Yeah.
So you had 13 patients
Yeah.
who had AIDS.
Yeah.
And then you say you cured them.
Sure.
Keep talking.
So my mother said, "They're gonna get you." I said, "But Mom, why are they gonna get me?" Because you must remember that you live in a society that support a certain philosophy and a certain system. You being the color that you are, black, and then you're going against the grain, they're going to get you. So when I'm in my office on February the 10th, here come the detectives. You are charged with practicing medicine without a license, selling product not approved by the FDA, and claiming to cure AIDS and other diseases. I said, yes. Well, you are making a fraudulent claim. I asked the detective, how do you know that?
Because you were advertising in newspapers.
Of course. I advertised in the Village Voice, the Amsterdam News, and the New York Post.
And you were telling people through your advertising that you can cure
AIDS, sickle cell, lupus, herpes, blindness, diabetes, paralysis, and others.
Okay, so they come knocking on the door and
So knocked on my door and took me to jail. But the funny thing about it, I was happy. I was very, very, extremely happy. When everybody in my office was crying, I was happy because my mama told me they were coming. And I knew that I had sufficient evidence to prove my position.
There's Dr. Otto, he was a Nobel Prize winner back then. He claimed that cancer cannot survive in an alkaline environment. That is exactly what Dr. Sebi's preaching. You know, there's credible scientists, doctors out there who do agree with what Dr. Sebi says. And it's enough proof to realize that maybe what he's saying has some truth to it. Maybe Western medicine, maybe medicine in general is not the best thing for us. You know, he talks about natural herbs and how it's good for our body and our body will accept it, but doctors and everyone else, they're using chemicals. I mean, man-made chemicals that the body is constantly fighting, and, you know, there's so many side effects to all these medicines. Why do you think, you know? I mean, it's killing us.
If you think prescription drug prices in the United States are bad today, just wait a month, because 30 major pharmaceutical companies here in the United States have announced plans to raise the prices on hundreds of different medications.
Agreed to hold off raising prices following heavy pressure from President Trump. Pfizer now says it will increase the prices of 41 drugs in January.
Pharmaceutical company Allergan is set to setting the tone for 2019 with a near 10% increase in prices on more than 1 dozen products. Allergan is among those more than 3 dozen other drug companies that are ringing in the new year with price increases. The average price increase among companies implementing a hike, 6.3%.
Tell me exactly what happened. Founded a company called CURING Pharmaceuticals, and he bought a drug, he bought the marketing rights to a drug, and then raised the prices of that drug from $13.50 a pill to $750, basically overnight. And there's the drug. Daraprim is the name of the drug, and it's something that's used to treat a life-threatening parasite illness, infection that people with a compromised immune system can.
Now, Dr. Sebi did die in police custody in Honduras. He was picked up for allegedly money laundering with another man with the name of Pablo. So I think they had $50,000. They were trying to get onto a private plane, and regardless, I don't think it's a big enough deal. I mean, he had money, so I think $50,000 really doesn't seem like a big deal. But what's interesting about this is that pneumonia is what killed him in police custody. Now, this man had no problem with pneumonia, you know. I mean, he cured AIDS and all kinds of diseases. But supposedly, while in police custody, this holistic healer, natural healer, ends up dying of simple pneumonia. Now, do your own research, you know, you can determine what you think happened, but I think something's up there.
A man known as Dr. Sebi claims to have found the cure for several life-threatening diseases, including AIDS. Too good to be true? Well, you be the judge.